A press release from the Houston Astros at 11:45 this morning after Jeremy Peña on Friday was hit by a pitch. He stayed in for another at-bat, but eventually Mauricio Dubon stepped in for him. Peña did not play Saturday or Sunday. I thought it was noteworthy that per Joe Espada, there was no rib fracture. But as far as Peña being able to play, when asked about him on Saturday, Espada said, quote, "I'm going to do everything I can to keep him away from today's game. He will get treatment and do some baseball stuff." So that was Saturday. Today, the update, 11:45 a.m. Additional imaging done on Jeremy Peña has revealed a small fracture in one of the ribs on his left side. As a result, Peña will be placed on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to June 28th. We will announce a corresponding roster move tomorrow. Okay. Do the Astros use machines from the third world despite being in arguably the medical capital of the United States of America? So they did x-rays on Jeremy Peña Friday night per Julia Morales. They did not reveal a fracture. Additional imaging done Sunday afternoon. An MRI and CT scan revealed a small fracture. It's not the end of the world because it's not like they did not know Jeremy Peña was dealing with this. He wasn't out for a month, only to return for the Astros to then find out that he was dealing with a small fracture. But can't you do the MRI and the CT scan while you're doing the x-rays? Right after you're doing the x-rays? So we could get a head start on this instead of you actually lying to us, Joe Espada, about Peña not having any broken ribs. He got hit in the ribs. He's got a fracture. You didn't have to say anything, and yet you did, and it just lends itself to us constantly questioning everything that the Astros medical staff and training staff does. I am just thankful that Peña did not rush back out to play, only for us to figure out that he had a small fracture. But the fact that they could not find the small fracture immediately is an annoying problem that even if medical science can't explain that away, since it's such a long track record of them not knowing what something was originally, only to find out it was worse than they thought it was later, that every single time they do this, I think they look like complete buffoons.
Yeah. Hey, at least he didn't do bragging practice, and then they found out that he had a fracture.
Like
small
Yordan.
fracture.
Right.
Tiny fracture.
They got a fracture's a fracture now. Don't. At this point, Sean, do not tell me it's a small fracture. A fracture is a fracture. Kyle Tucker had a fractured shin last year. It was a bone bruise, a deep bone bruise. Well, he was out 3 months, and he said it was a fracture when he finally came back. Yordan Alvarez had a hand fracture.
60% healed.
By the way,
as of 1 month ago.
Well, speaking of Yordan Alvarez, this is an update courtesy of Dana Brown on the Astros flagship before yesterday's win over the Cubs. Yordan Alvarez joining the team in LA per Dana Brown next weekend is, quote, not the most likely scenario, but we're not putting that aside. What?
It's Dana. Not happening. It's not happening.
Just say that.
He used 2 sentences to
just say probably not. If you say probably not and he's back, pleasant surprise. Instead, next weekend is not the most likely scenario, but we're not putting that aside. What is that? Dana's the AL Executive of the Year, or maybe baseball's Executive of the Year. He's had a great year. Dana, just say probably not, okay? Because it lends itself back to the initial diagnosis of Yordan, and last year with Kyle Tucker, and Lance McCullers getting injured lifting weights, and now this with Jeremy Peña dealing with a rib injury. Just stop. Just say day at a time, day to day.
Yeah.
What does this mean? It's not the most likely scenario, but we're not putting that aside. Do you like this show so much that you know Paul's going to go on a rant when you say weird stuff like this? Because if that's the case, well, I guess thank you.
Dana Brown's in the Twitch.
Dana Brown in the Twitch along with my girlfriend. That would be funny. Oh, Dana. I don't even know what that means. That's really the thing I'm trying to figure out.
It just means he won't be there. Like it's the most optimistic way of saying probably not. Probably won't be in LA. I'm not. What was it? It's not likely, but I'm not going to count it out either. Like it's not likely. You can just stop after it's not likely.
Ugh.
That's what that means.
I know.
It's not. No, that's what it's not likely means. Is that there's still a chance, but I wouldn't expect so.
Just say
It's just not 10 words long.
probably not. Boom. Next question. Day to day. Next question. It's almost like they need coaching from football people who are just like Detective Dignam in The Departed when it comes to his approach to the feds. Feed them, bleep them, keep them in the dock.
Yeah.
Just do that.
That is their problem, is that they try to put the positive spin on these things.
Yeah, so they put their foot in their mouth every single time. Joe Espada said Jeremy Peña did not have a fractured rib. Now he does. And I mean, rib injuries take a while to heal. I know they say 10-day IL.
10 days. That's it.
That's misleading. Just starting off with a 10-day IL. Okay, he could be back soon. I would assume it's at least a month, if not multiple. And now, because Jeremy Peña is the only reason your offense has been cooking of late, you're going to need to do something. What is it? Is it throwing Bryce Matthews into the fire? I don't know. Bryce Matthews, top prospect for the Astros right now, who has been doing very well at the minor league level. And hell, he might do well, but I'm imagining Jeremy Peña is going to be out for a good amount of time. And that's a shame because he was in the midst of an MVP caliber year. Got snubbed in the All-Star voting side of things. I hope he still ends up being selected to the All-Star game because he is the best Astro out. That's a position player. He's the only position player that, in my opinion, deserves to make it. No offense to Isaac Paredes, who's been good.
Yeah, he won't play in the All-Star. More than likely, he won't play in the All-Star game.
But I want
unless it really is just 8 days and he's back out there. But the fact he might not make it, I mean, I hope they'd like announce him as an all-star reserve and then immediately get just because that's what matters is to get the little thing on your baseball reference page that says you're an all-star. It doesn't actually matter if you play or not or if you start or not. It just it would suck if after the first half of the season he's still a 0-time all-star.
Anyway,
but Yordan maybe back this weekend.
It's not the most likely scenario, but they're not putting that aside. That's literally what Danny Brown said.
Not the most likely scenario.
By the way, Saturday, Lance McCullers got the start. It was really surprising that he was announced to start without a rehab start. Did he need the rehab start? I don't know, but he got shelled. I was there. It was bad. The first inning in particular, my God, he was throwing ball. The first inning was rough. And then as the game wore on, then he started giving up yabos. He was getting destroyed. It was a rough outing for him. After the game, Lance McCullers said something that I'm sure the people that constantly call him a barista were salivating over, foaming at the mouth to dunk on him because he said, I guess the National League Central is my daddy because of what happened against the Reds, which led to the death threats from the drunk bettor in another country and a little scandal to follow that up. I don't know if that bettor watched this game or if he bet on that game.
Hopefully he didn't.
I would have advised that bettor to bet against Lance McCullers.
I think that would have been the smart
Fading Lance McCullers makes a lot more sense. I mean, McCullers has had some good outings in between these two Central outings.
I just sent this guy death threats 2 months ago. I kind of like what I've seen out of him.
That would be so funny if he's like, yeah, he's been really good ever since then. And then he bets on this game again and he loses all of his money again. He's just hammered somewhere drinking whatever he drinks in whatever country he's in. They shouldn't have put him out there on Saturday. That's really all I've got. I don't think there was any need to. And then Gusto came in relief. The guy was originally scheduled to start, and he was all right. So I don't get why they started McCullers on Saturday. People are mad at him again. And I think that's really the Astros' fault more than it's Lance McCullers' fault. Though whatever happened in the gym.
I was going to say it's a little bit.
I want to know what happened in the gym. I want to know what happened.
I did almost
sprain your foot at the gym?
No, finger injury with the dumbbells.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah, where they just kind of like click together on your finger. And I did have the thought of like, God, I hope I didn't just break my finger and I have to tell Paul I broke my finger like Lance McCullers did.
It would be funny.
But we're good.
We're good? Okay.
Yeah,
good,
just
good,
some ice. We're good.
The worst 24-hour fitness in the world.
Yeah, almost claim my middle finger.
You could have sued them for damages, but I don't know if they'd be able to pay them. You probably have to
Hey,
pay
want
for
the squat rack?
you'd have
Not
to
really.
pay for their public defender probably with
Yeah.
your taxpayer dollars. What a dump that place is. Anyway, I still go.